Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa Delicato, and today I'll be representing a project worked on by myself and a team from SUNY Upstate Medical University. Our project focuses on virtually training health profession students on communicating with Alzheimer's patients and their caregivers. We have a contractual relationship with Virtual Ability. The number of Alzheimer's cases in the US is growing, and there's a limited number of health professions equipped to service this community. One way to effectively train them is via virtual platforms. Specifically, we wanted to create a virtual curriculum for a variety of health professions and evaluate it for knowledge and self-efficacy. Students enter the virtual world of Second Life and have the opportunity to meet with a virtual patient and caregiver. Students learn the patient and caregiver's realities differ from one another. They can triangulate their experience by seeing the patient's virtual home environment. We recruited a total of 60 students, the majority being MD. We found that the majority of students had not performed patient care duties with someone with Alzheimer's or dementia. And we found that knowledge, attitude, and confidence increased as a result of the training. Students identified nutritional and safety concerns, and we identified major themes from their responses. Majority of students found the training to be satisfying and visually appealing and usable. So the Alzheimer's training increases knowledge and self-efficacy, and it can be easily disseminated.
Oh, I'm Cindy Tissick, and I'm from the University of Buffalo Libraries. I wanted to talk to you about the virtual reality experiential learning program that I started for students at the university. Undergraduate students were invited to be content creators, and based on their areas of interest, we tried to create projects unique for them. And we introduced them to VR cameras and VR goggles and editing equipment. We had them go through a bibliography, including something called A Walk Through Dementia, which is a website that you can download a number of apps that will recreate what it's like to be someone with dementia. And then based on that, the students ended up figuring out neighborhoods in Buffalo that they wanted to film. And this is a list of some that we worked on, as well as moments in time, the moon landing, a diner, and a sock hop. This is a sample of students' work in file. And then students edited the footage and put them into Box. And here is an example of it in our repository in Box.
I've been using immersive VR environments in the graduate level for over 15 years. Initially, I started in Second Life. It became too expensive, and then I moved into open source islands, which are less expensive and more user-friendly. I've used them for meetings, poster sessions. I've conducted research in these environments. I even piloted a virtual immersive residency, and now it's become an annual event. I started an institute where we look at new paradigms, and we use this VR space as a launching point. I also use this as a background for the STEM classes that I have, where I want students to come in and think about interdisciplinary ways of bringing STEM into their work. And because the cost is low, a number of students, and you'll see them flying by in the background, have created their own islands and use them for their own needs. Now, because this is cost effective, I've been able to research and find that these islands work very well, and you can find publications to this effect.
Before you do anything, you got to start with real data. You can't just pull fluffy stuff out of the sky and expect something good to come out of it. So in June, we had this intensive study for 2 weeks. We had to understand the impact of COVID when everyone went from an in-classroom experience to that online crazy world that we all experienced. And we got 2,100 responses on variations of surveys. And we used that surveys to design 8 novel mixed reality products. I'm going to show you 3. One is Clash. And what we did is we took our data, because we like to look at data, and we said, all right, what's happening here? Anxiety, disengagement with social, the black boxes, everyone knows about the black little screens that we always try to teach to. But how do we foster social engagement? Well, what we've done here is a little scenario that we designed is we have a little amiibo, which is a representation of you in the virtual classroom. And this amiibo is your representations, your presence within the classroom, not the little video that you see me talking to you right now. And of course, to get our students away from mobile devices, we turned it into a pop socket. So that's your little buzzer. So to try to get as best as we can to put these things away.
Hi, my name is Dr. Nicole Simon. I'm a STEM faculty member at Nassau Community College, which is part of the SUNY State University of New York system. Today, we're going to take a look at virtual labs for virtual times. I think this is very important for students as some of them are still learning remotely, and also gives them the flexibility for them to learn and repeatability for labs, which is so essential for critical thinking skills. Today, we're going to take a look at two different types of labs: a virtual lab from HHMI, which allows students to learn through their learning objectives, walking them through what you would typically have with a patient, what you would typically have with your lab notebook, and real-time dynamic quizzing features. So what's nice about this is it gives you the questions you would normally have in a lab situation, your pre-lab. It allows you to get, again, that real-time feedback with hints and suggestions before they actually start the lab. It also allows for repeatability. It walks you through what you would normally have in a typical face-to-face setting for clinical.
Thank you. The Verbella Island is manned 24/7, actually personed, by a greeter. And so you can go to the Verbella Island. It's free. Download the software and you can go in and you can walk around and check it out and have a meeting in one of their spaces. And you can have a real live conversation with a person who will get you oriented and help you know which way to go. So I just want to highlight the two different platforms. Verbella was the one that I showed you all the pictures. Mozilla Hub has been mentioned in the chat, and it's very similar. It runs through the browser instead of downloading, so that might make it even more accessible. But you do need to have, maybe a little bit more power on your computer. And I just want to end this with, we need a solution. How do we take advantage of those affordances that you all put into the chat to take advantage of these technology gatherings and continue to also interact face to face? That's our new challenge. How do we get the best of all worlds? That's how I want to end my slides. So thank you.